Hi, this is Paul. I bet on I actually made a video because, excuse me, one of my subscribers asked me to predict, I guess, excuse me, the championship games that I predicted, and I was actually right, actually, I did predict Philadelphia would win and Kansas City would win, and they won. Okay, so I'm going to make a prediction for the Super Bowl, which is tomorrow. Okay, although this video may go up in the morning, it's going to go up before. If it's not tonight, it'll go up tomorrow before the game starts. Now, this is a rematch, of course, obviously of 2 years ago. Okay, the only difference is I think that now the Eagles, I think they have a better defense. I think now, and they have Saquon Barkley. Okay, and I don't think Kansas City offensively is as good as they were a few years ago, but they're still good. And Patrick Mahomes, they won a lot of close games this season. He didn't have a juggernaut game, but they only lost, I think, the one game in the regular season, right? Um, so I think it was one game, right? Or am I wrong? Hold on, let me check that because okay, let me see some Kansas City because I thought they Kansas City Chiefs 2024 regular 24 record. Yeah, 15-2. Okay, they lost two games. Okay, but anyway, but they're still good, and they still have Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid and Steve Spagnuolo. I think that's his name, right? Steve Spagnuolo, the defensive coordinator. I know he used to be the defensive coordinator for the Giants, and like I said, I'm a New York Giant fan, so I don't have any real rooting interest in this, except Saquon Barkley, who used to play for the Giants, and of course he went to Philly, and of course the stupid Giants, they should have re-signed Barkley and gave Daniel Jones. They should have franchised Daniel Jones, but that's a bridge over the water, and hopefully we can bounce back and maybe get a veteran quarterback and stuff for next year and stuff, and see what happens. But anyway, enough of that. I digress. But I think that the same thing I said about the Kansas City Buffalo game holds true in this game. If it's a close game, especially in the fourth quarter, you have to bet on Kansas City because Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes is he's a genius when it comes to when those close tight games. Him and Andy Reid, I wouldn't bet against them in a close game. Okay, they thrive on that, and so if it's a close game in the Super Bowl, I think it's the same thing is going to happen. And I think in the Super Bowl, and at least in two of the Super Bowl games, I think they were behind. I think they were behind in the Eagle game and also in the San Francisco Super Bowl. They were behind. Okay, yeah, I think they were behind, except for the last year. I don't know if last year's game they were behind. I know the one with porn star Jimmy when he was the quarterback for the San Francisco, they were behind, and then of course with the Eagle game they were behind, and they came back. So they do have, and then of course during the course of the regular season they played a lot of close games, and so Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes has a penchant for coming back in tight close games. That's why if I was the Eagles, don't let this game be tight and close in the fourth quarter because Patrick Mahomes will do his thing and come back. And that's why I think if Eagles want a chance to win, they're going to have to score. Okay, I think they got to score. Remember the week before when they played Washington, they had a lot of they scored a lot of points on turnovers and stuff. And I think their defense is better than Kansas City's defense, and it's better than the defense was 2 years ago. The Eagles' defense, I think they have a better secondary, better offensive line. I think they do. I think the Eagles' defense is a lot better than Kansas City's defense. Okay, even though I think Kansas City's defense is decent, but I think the Eagles' defense is a lot better than Kansas City. And I think if I was the Eagles, the defensive coach, I forgot his name. I think I forgot his name. But if I was the defense, I would watch that Super Bowl game that the Chiefs lost when they lost to Tampa Bay, and how I think they kept hitting Patrick Mahomes in that game. I think they only scored 9 points in that game, that Super Bowl. They kept hitting Patrick Mahomes and putting him under pressure, And I think that's what you have to do with Patrick Mahomes. You can't let him get outside the pocket and because he's a master, he's like a Houdini. Okay, he can run, he'll fake the throw and then start running and get yards, make that first down, or he'll make that throw that he has to make. Okay, so I think they definitely, if it's a close game, I wouldn't bet against Kansas City because they have a penchant for doing this. And even though I think the Eagles' defense is a lot better than it was 2 years ago, Patrick Mahomes always usually finds a way to win. So if I was the game plan, I think for the Eagles is to score, and of course that means also Saquon Barkley has to have a good game. And though I think Steve Spagnuolo, he's going to load the box and not let Saquon Barkley beat them. That's what I think his mission is. He's going to tell his defense, listen, we're going to let Jalen Hurts be the one to try to, they'll probably blitz him a lot to see if they can throw him off his game and stuff. And it's important for the Eagles to pick up the blitz and stuff if they want to and hit those outside receivers. So I think if the Eagles can, pick up that blitz, and if Barkley has a good game, because I think the Eagles' offensive line is one of the best in the NFL. Exactly. So they may be able to pick up the blitz and all that stuff, but they have to if they want to have a chance to beat the Chiefs, because I think they have to score. The most important thing for the Eagles is to keep scoring. Okay, do not let the game get close, because if the game gets close, Patrick Mahomes will pull it out. I just have that feeling that he will do that. Okay, and I wouldn't bet against him. So the Eagles, from their standpoint, they're going to have to keep scoring. Okay, and hopefully their defense can get. Yeah, their defense is good, and if they can get some turnovers, maybe put some pressure on Patrick Mahomes, they have a shot. Okay, but they have to do those things. You can't let Patrick Mahomes keep the game close, because if we keep the game close, I think the Chiefs are going to pull it out. They're going to find a way. Patrick Mahomes is going to hit somebody. He's going to hit Travis Kelce, or he's going to run for the first down or run for a touchdown. He's going to do it. Okay. So, okay, and like I said, even though Saquon Barkley used to be a giant, and I kind of want him to win just because, he used to be a giant, and I like Saquon. But if it's a close game, I think the Chiefs is going to win. Okay, I think the only way the Eagles are going to win is they got to get turnovers. Okay, which again, Patrick Mahomes, they don't turn the ball over that much. That's the one thing the Chiefs don't do. They don't turn the ball over that much. But the Eagles' defense, I think I said, is a lot better than it was 2 years ago. But I think that's the only way they're going to get if you can turn the ball over, if they get turnovers or recover fumbles, whatever, and score on those. I think you got to keep scoring against the Chiefs. You can't let the game get close, because if you get the game gets close, the Chiefs are going to pull it out. I think Andy Reid will come up with a trick play or something, and they will do it. Okay, so that's why I think. And Jalen Hurts, I think he's only thrown like one interception in the last bunch of playoff games. So he protects the ball and stuff. So as long as he doesn't do that, and remember in the other Super Bowl, he made one mistake. He fumbled the ball, and it was a pick six. And they picked up the ball and they scored, and they lost by 3 points, I think, in that Super Bowl. And Jalen Hurts actually had besides that costly play in the first half, he had a good Super Bowl. If they would have won, he probably would have been the MVP, Jalen Hurts. So he can play under pressure and stuff. And so, and now I gave you all the reasons why I think that the Chiefs will win if it's a close game, because I just don't see the Chiefs blowing out the Eagles unless Jalen Hurts gets hurt or he throws a bunch of picks, which I don't think he will. Jalen Hurts is very protective of the ball. Okay, he makes sure, like I know that game before Washington, I think when they play in the Rams, he was kind of holding onto the ball a little bit too long, and I know Tom Brady mentioned that in the game when they played Washington, that he said he needs to get the, and I think he did that. He made the throws when he had to, and as long as he does that, makes the throws when he has to, don't take any costly fumble sacks, but no turnovers, okay? Because I think that Kansas City will capitalize on those. So, but now for the winner. My brother is a Kansas City Chief fan. My brother, who's Raymond, is coming down. I think he's coming down to visit my other brother. He didn't get moved today. He's still in the hospital. He was supposed to get moved today, but he didn't get moved. But so I think my brother's coming down and he's going to watch the Super Bowl probably tomorrow. Tomorrow, probably. So now, as far as the winner is concerned, like I said, I like Saquon Barkley because he used to be a Giant. Okay, I like I think a decent. I love those little things he does with his little daughter. You know, those little handshake things and stuff. He got a nice little cute family. Okay, and but Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Okay, as much as I would like him to win, like I said, I don't give a crap about Philly because I'm a Giant fan and a New York Met fan, so I hate the Phillies too. So I'm not enamored with the Philadelphia Eagles and stuff, or the Philadelphia fan base to begin with. And I would like, although I would like Saquon to win, okay, because I think he's a decent guy and all that stuff. But I'm gonna have to, if I had to bet money, and this is the only way I would do this. If I was betting something that I didn't care about, I would bet the Eagles. I still think the Eagles are going to give them a good game because I think they're that good a team. And I think top to bottom roster-wise, I think the Eagles are a better team. Although I think, of course, at quarterback they have the better quarterback and better tight end, and of course the better coach. I think with Andy Reid. I think the Eagles top to bottom as a team are is better than Kansas City. I just think they are. Although, like I said, those games have been close to Kansas City. So, like I said, as long as the Eagles don't let the game be close, do not let the game be close, okay? And like I said, they watch that. They need to watch that game when Tampa beat Kansas City in the Super Bowl. And I think what Tampa did, was they knocked Patrick Mahomes down. I think they sacked him a bunch of times, and they basically beat him up in that game, okay, to keep them from keep them from scoring and driving. And I think that's what the Eagles have to do. I would watch that game if I was the defensive coach. I would watch that game and see what Tampa did to slow Patrick Mahomes down. Although, like I said, Patrick Mahomes has matured, past that game, since that Super Bowl that they lost. He's a different quarterback than he was then. I think that experience helped him grow and all that stuff. So, if I had to bet money on it, and I know people are going to go all over, with Kansas City being a dynasty and all that stuff, which I don't particularly give a crap about. But I can't ignore reality, okay? Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. And if anybody can find a way to win, I think Patrick Mahomes will find a way to win, okay? And even though I think Jalen Hurts is a nice, decent guy, and I think he takes too much crap from the media and stuff about, that he's not the best quarterback and stuff, because I think he's on that second tier. I think Patrick Mahomes is top tier. I think everybody else is below him, and I think Jalen Hurts is below him. Then for their game, for Philly to win, he doesn't have to throw for 300 yards and all that stuff. He just has to throw for like 2-something. He could do a bunch of running, touchdowns because he can run. And if Saquon can get off, okay, I think they have a chance. But to me, they have to keep scoring, even if it's just field goals. They have to keep scoring. They can't have a bunch of 3-and-outs against Kansas City because Patrick Mahomes, even though I think the Eagles' defense is a lot better, I think that's probably the best defense that Kansas City has faced this year. I think Patrick Mahomes can always find a way to win. So if the Eagles want to win, they got to keep scoring, okay? And that's what I said about Buffalo. And, of course, they got stopped. And although I think Josh Allen I think he made that first down, but that's just an aside. But, they found a way when it was close, okay? So I'm not going to bet against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I just think they are that good. Andy Reid is that good a coach, and Patrick Mahomes is that good a player. Okay, and if anybody can beat these Eagles, which I think their defense is top notch, and I think their offense, when it clicks in all cylinders, with Saquon and those two wideouts and their tight end and Jalen Hurts, I think they can be a force. But the only way I think they're going to win is they got to keep scoring. They can't let the game be tight. If the game's going to be tight, Kansas City's going to pull it off. I just think they will. And like I said, if I had to bet money on it, I'm going to have to bet Kansas City. Okay, I'm just going to have to and say Kansas City's going to win. Okay, even though I would like Saquon to win just because I like Saquon Barkley. Because again, like I say, he used to be a Giant and stuff, and I think he's a decent enough guy and stuff. And that would be nice for him. But I don't know. I think the Chiefs are they're in win mode now. They're in so. And even though I don't want to see Taylor Swift, and they're going to show her 50 million times, okay, when Kansas City wins, they're going to show her and Travis Kelce 50 million times on TV, which I'd rather not see. That's another reason to want the Eagles to win, just so I don't have to see that. But I think Patrick Mahomes is he's one of those special players, okay, and I think he's just too tough to stop. And if there's a way, like I said, that game is tight. The Eagles, oh my God, unless they get a turnover or something, or one of those Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs, they don't turn the ball over that much. But if they do, I think that's the only shot the Eagles got, if it's close, that Kansas City has to turn the ball over. And Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw interceptions, and he doesn't fumble that much. But like I said, if I had to bet money, I'm going to have to bet Kansas City. I know my brother is a Kansas City fan, and I just, as much as I want Saquon to win a Super Bowl, okay, because I like him. He's a decent person. He used to be a Giant. Again, like I said before, I'm going to have to say Kansas City, even though I don't want to hear, and I especially don't want to hear Nick Wright on First Things First, because he's one of these. Oh my God, Nick Wright is so obnoxious. Okay, he's extremely obnoxious, and I would love to see him get knocked down a peg on Monday if the Chiefs were to lose, and see him get knocked down a peg on Monday. Okay, that would be great, just to see him get knocked down a peg, because he's so obnoxious with his fandom. Okay, for the Kansas City, he's just really obnoxious. But I can't. That aside, I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes if I was betting money. Okay, and so that's my honest opinion about that. Even though I would like Saquon to win and Jalen to win a Super Bowl, like I said, I don't no love for Philly, but I think Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. So this game is close. You just sit back and wait for Patrick to do his thing. Okay, that's what's going to happen if it's close. That's why I say the Eagles, they can't let it be close. And they have to keep scoring and get turnovers if they can. And again, let Saquon, like I said, he may not have a good game because, like I said, Steve Spagnuolo, I think he's going to load the box and dare Jalen Hurts to beat them that way. But you never know, because like I said, Kansas City, Philadelphia has a great offensive line, but I think they're going to load the box and force Jalen to throw the ball and stuff and beat them that way. So I'm not going to put a final score, because that could be wildly unpredictable. But I think if it's a close game, Kansas City is going to win. If it's a blowout, which these games usually are not blowouts, it's very rare. Well, it's not that rare, but the Super Bowls are usually not blowouts. But if it's a tight game, I think Kansas City. If it's not a tight game, I see Eagles. I don't see the Kansas City blowing out the Eagles. And put it that way. If it's a blowout, it's going to be the Eagles. I think the Eagles will win if it's a blowout, I think. And I think that's what they have to do to win. I think they can't let it be close. If it's a close score, Kansas City always usually finds a way. So that's my advice, I guess, for the Eagles. Don't let it get close. Keep scoring. Try to force turnovers. Okay? Don't let it get close, because in the fourth quarter, Patrick will find a way to beat you. Okay? And in Kansas City, they got to keep it close. If they want to win this game, they got to keep it close. And like I said, I think they're going to blitz. I think they're going to load the box against Saquon Barkley to try to not let him beat them. Because if Saquon Barkley gets off in this game, the Eagles are definitely going to win. Okay, and I know that Kansas City has a record of not giving up any 100-yard runners. I think they have a record of not giving up any 100-yard runners. But if Saquon Barkley gets over 100 yards in this game, they're going to win, I think, because they'll be able to control the clock and all that stuff and keep Kansas City off the field. But like I said, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to have to bet on Kansas City. I guess I'm going to have to say Patrick Mahomes will find a way. Okay, but either way, I hope you get a good game. Okay, like I said, tight game. I think Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes is going to do it. He's just that good. If it's a little bit of a blowout, if it's going to be a blowout game, I think it would be on the Eagles' side, to the Eagles' favor, I think, because I don't think Kansas City will be able to blow out the Eagles, because I think their defense is good enough. They'll to not get blown out. But if it's a blowout, I think it will be on the Eagles' side. I think that's their best bet of winning this game. They're going to have to keep scoring. Okay, if it's like in the fourth quarter, at least have two, be up by 2 scores. I think at least, so that way you can keep scoring, even if you get chippy field goals. But that's the only way I think the Eagles are going to win. You've got to have 2 scores up against Patrick Mahomes. You can't let that game be a 3-point game or a 1-touchdown game, because Patrick Mahomes will find a way. He's that good. and I think he's matured since that Tampa loss. So, and he doesn't make mistakes. It's very rare that he makes mistakes. So if he does, you have to capitalize on it. If he throws a pick, which he rarely does, or if somebody fumbles, you got to score on those plays. Okay, you have to. That's the only way I think the Eagles has a shot of winning. But if I'm a betting man, I'm going to bet Kansas City. Okay, even though I don't want to see it because I can't stand Nick Wright, and I won't have to. I won't be able to watch First Things First for a couple of days because Nick Wright is just so obnoxious. Okay, and that's another reason why I wouldn't mind if Kansas City lost, just because so Nick Wright could get knocked down a peg because he's so obnoxious, just really, really obnoxious. But I can't deny Patrick Mahomes' greatness. Him and Andy Reid, that's greatness we're witnessing right now. So there you go. So anyway, let me know who you think are going to win this game, and do you think the score will be tight, or do you think the Eagles' defense will come up? Do you think the Eagles will win? Okay, let me know who you're rooting for and who you think are going to win, because those can be two different things. Like I said. So let me know in the description box below. Also, in the description box, I have links to my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. Also have a link to my main channel, Trepacer, as well. Also have a link down below to my Patreon, which is only $5 a month. I have tons of content on there, tons of unedited content on there, over 200 videos on there. You get 5-minute preview clips of all the content that I have on there. So follow it. It'll take you to my Patreon page. Also have a link down below to my merchandise store. As you can see, I'm wearing one of my T-shirts with my logo on it. Thank you, YouTuber Jay, for designing this for me. I have hats, T-shirts, mugs, sweatshirts, hoodies for men, for women, unisex stuff. Follow the link. It will take you to the store. Also, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Also, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you know when I upload new content to this channel. And this is Paul saying so long, and take care.